Hey guys, in this episode of Let's Talk, we're going to discuss depression. Finally, I'm able to bring this video and this subject to you, and it has taken me so long due to the delicacy of its nature. I wanted to make sure that I brought you the correct information, the right content, and not just speak out of the blue. So let's begin. And the first question is, what is depression? What is depression to you? What is depression to me? What is depression to anybody else? So what is depression? That is the question. People say this, people say that, and let's not even think or say about what anybody says, okay? What you need to do is go within. You go within and you ask yourself, why am I sad? Why am I depressed? What is causing me to be sad and depressed? And you're going to have your answer right there. Now, what should that answer be? If you think about it, you know what causes you to be depressed? The fact that you are not living the life that you have chosen for yourself. You are not happy with who you are. You are not happy with what you're doing. You're not happy with where you work. You're not happy with where you live. You are not happy with your avatar. The truest quote and saying on depression to me has been said from Jim Carrey, where he said, depression is your avatar telling you that it is tired of living the life you have chosen for it. If you do not live your true purpose, what makes you happy from within, you will be in a state of depression. Now, once you fall into a state of depression, you're going to have overthinking. The overthinking and the thoughts just expand and expand in your mind, and you need to be able to train your mind to quiet that voice. Okay? Now think about it, because a lot of people also say the number one cause of depression is overthinking. Okay? So for example, if you're an overthinker, you can overthink so many things and get negative thoughts. You can have low self-esteem. You can get depressed as well. But that doesn't mean that overthinking itself is going to cause a depression. Why are you overthinking? I guarantee you, if you were living your purpose, if you were at a state of happiness, okay, it's a state of being where you are enjoying yourself fully. Let's say, how are you the happiest? How do you have fun? What excites you? At that state of being that you feel enlightened, are you overthinking? Do you have thoughts in your head? You don't. Because you are at that moment, you're in a state of enlightenment. You're in a state of happiness. So what causes the overthinking is the fact of the unhappiness within you of living the life that you do not want to live. The life that society or the standards or your family or your friends think or make you live, or that you decide to live because you think it's the right thing to do. Based on all of those things. Based on society, based on the standards, based on family members. Sometimes the burdens that we carry are so big and they weigh so much on us that we think that we're doing the right thing, and that will just get us into a depressive state. Okay, now besides that, another thing, when you fall into a depressive state, it becomes habitual. That's another thing. You're already depressed, and sometimes it gets to a point where it's also so long that it's all you know. And being depressed is not being happy and not being sad. It's being numb. You're numbed. Your mind is numbed. You do not think. You do not think positive. You do not think negative. You're just numbed. You're like asleep inside of you. You have no spirit inside of you, which is different from being sad. Okay? And sometimes you need something to shake you up and wake you up and realize, okay? And for you to see and appreciate and be grateful for the mere purpose of being alive. The mere purpose of being alive is going to give you enough fuel to fight for what you want for your life, for what you want out of life. Now, so let's say you went within, you realize, I'm not happy with this, I'm not happy with that. I want to change this in my life. I want these goals. I know my purpose. I know who I am. I know what I want out of life. I know my goals. I have my vision. Let me pursue it. In that process, then you have to quiet your mind. Then you have to train your mind. Then you have to build your habits. Because now you gotta, for you to be the person that you're meant to be, okay, and the person that you truly want to be, you gotta build those habits. And coming from a state of depression to your highest self, or to your best self, or the person that makes you happy, you need to build those habits. And that is the cycle, and those are the steps, okay, that it takes time. It takes a lot of discipline. And this is where the majority of the people fall back into the depressive state, because it takes a lot of strength, a lot of courage, and it's really, really hard to have a discipline and to build habits that you are not accustomed to, because your mind and your body has been in a state of depression for so long. And I want to get something out there. I've seen a lot of people share, if you have depressive thoughts, if you're depressed, if you need someone to talk to me, blah, blah, blah. Reality is, nobody cares. No one gives a fuck. You know why? Because everybody has their own life. Everybody has their own problems. Everybody has to wake up every day and give it their best, the same way. And people do care to a certain degree, but nobody is going to go out of their way and turn up their life to save you, or no one's gonna do that. You need to save yourself if you want to. If not, there's two options. You either fight for it or you give up. What's giving up? That's exactly what it is. Suicide. So either you fight for your life or you just give up, or continue in a state of depression the rest of your life. Being depressed is not a way to life. Having a dead spirit inside of you is not a way to life. It is not a way to be free. It's unlivable. It's inhumane for somebody to live in a depressive state. I'm gonna give an anecdote about a few years ago. I think I was like 24, 25. I was living in New Orleans. I was extremely depressed, and I was actually taking antidepressants because I didn't know what to do. I thought taking antidepressants was the way to go. I had the 2 small kids, and I read this book from Tony Robbins, Unlimited Power. And that book changed my life. First of all, I was taking the antidepressants and I was feeling the same. Maybe one week I was good, next week I was a little better, and then you still feel the same. And then you go in and you realize, why, if I'm taking antidepressants, why am I still depressed? What is going on that I'm still depressed? I don't see a way out. You literally do not have any vision towards your life. You do not have any vision. You think that's it. So I read this book from Tony Robbins, Unlimited Power. And one of the sentences, I'm never going to forget this quote, it said, you need to be where it makes you happy. What makes you happy? Where does it make you happy? You go within and you think, what makes you happy? How are you the happiest? Where do you want to live? What do you want to do? What do you want to do for your life? And you need to be exactly at the place that makes you the happiest. And I thought to myself at that moment, I am not happy here. I do not want to live here. I shouldn't live here if I'm not happy here. I am pretty much dying of depression. And honestly, nobody gives a fuck. It's my life. I have 2 children to live for. And nobody cares. what do I need to do to stop living in a state of depression? Because I'm 24 years old, 25 years old, and this is not right for any human to do. And I realized after reading the book, I'm like, I need to go back to Miami. Compared to here, I feel happiest in Miami. This is not a place for me. This is not who I am. This is not where I belong. I'm a Miami girl, for example. That's where I feel myself. That's where I feel the happiest. That is where I need to be. And, realizing where you belong, realizing who you are, realizing what you need to do, no matter the circumstances, no matter who you have to go against. The next day, I told my partner, I'm like, I'm leaving to Miami. It was big chaos, big drama, big confusion, but I knew that I needed to do what I had to do for my life and for my children's life. Because if, as a mother and as a human being, as a woman, I am not happy with myself and with my life, how can I be a mother to my children? How can I be there for my children? How can I be a good mother to my children? And, this is the mistake that us mothers do, is that we always just forget that we are a human being, forget that we are a woman, and it's just our kids, our kids, our kids, our kids, our kids. And yes, our kids are number one, but we are humans. We have flesh, we are women. We have to take care of ourselves first, then our children. If we do not take care of ourselves, we cannot be there for our children. And that goes to everybody. Sometimes we forget who we are. We forget to live for ourselves. And we just live according to everybody else's standards, whether our parents, our close family members, our society, or, how we grew up. Maybe we don't have the same beliefs of the environment that we grew up. If you are in a state of depression, okay, I guarantee you change your environment and you change your life. Because obviously you do not belong where you're at. 100%. You are not living the life you want. You are not where you want. You are not who you want to be with. And the fact that you are forgetting to live your life for you and for everybody else, you will continue to live in a state of depression your entire life. Your entire life. On top of that, then also the secondary cause is the overthinking. Sometimes, and I started studying a lot of people, and I would ask myself, well, if this happened to this person and this happened to this person, how come both of them react differently to the same situation? This person is being a positive person and this person is being a negative person. They are reacting differently to the same situation. This person went on with their life, and then this person, the negative person, is the overthinking, and then falls into a state of depression. Okay, so the secret to life is how we handle our life. How do we handle? We all face problems. We all face situations. How are we going to handle it? Are we going to let that make us, let us fall? Are we going to overthink the situations? Are we going to let that get that negativity in our head? We need to quiet the voice inside our head. This book that I've shared recently, Untethered Soul, is an amazing book that teaches you how to quiet the voice in your head. You need to meditate, and you need to be able to learn to quiet the voice in your head. This video is just pretty much on what is depression, and I want you to look within, and I want you to think, what is depression to you? What causes you to be depressed? And I want you to try to change that. It's not easy. Trust me, it's not easy, but it's definitely doable. What's easier, than not being depressed? Not being depressed is definitely not easy at all. So I don't know about you or anybody else, but there was a time in my life where I said, enough is enough. I will not live in a state of depression for the rest of my life. I will not live depressed for the rest of my life. And, and as long as I can remember, even when I came from Cuba as a child, my life drastically changed, where I was very free in Cuba. I would walk to my dance classes. I would walk to school. We used to play in the streets. And my life was always outside, having fun with my friends, having the freedom to walk and the safety to go anywhere at 7 years old. And I came to this country to practically be inside a small apartment, locked, without my grandparents, without my father. And it was a huge impact for me for a 7-year-old. We used to live in a very big house with our entire family, and then coming here pretty much like isolated, just my mom and my sister and myself in a small apartment. I became depressed as a child. Now that I'm an older woman, I understand what I felt back then as a child. Nobody knew what it was. Now I know what it was. And it came to my life a few years ago, and I decided I was not going to live depressed anymore. That is not a way to life. And anybody, and everybody in the world at one point of their lives becomes depressed, whether it's for a little bit or for a lot. It happens because life is hard. But you need to look within and figure out, why are you depressed? What causes depression? And change that. Yes, we can change that. Okay? This video is pretty much just on what is depression and the importance of looking within and figuring out what causes each and every one of us to be depressed. I am going to make another video on how to overcome depression and the steps, the different ways and tools and elements and food, so many things to overcome the depression and get out of that state. Like pretty much just is like, no, I refuse to go back to that. And there's ways to do it. I hope this was a very informative video. It's very personal. Everything I speak about is very personal, but I tried to make it the best that I could, and it took me so long to make because I wanted to make sure that I can give the correct insights, and touch people's heart on exactly what they may be feeling. And I hope it really does help someone out there. And yes, you're not alone. We're not all alone. But at the same time, yes, you are alone. You are alone in your depression. I have been alone in my depression. Whoever is depressed is alone in their depression. You know why? Because we are born alone and we're gonna die alone. Okay? It is our self. We are a self. So it's only up to you to change that state and live your life the best way that you can, and live your life in a happy state of being, in a state of being of enlightenment. That's exactly what it is. That is the total opposite. So once again, my best thoughts, and with the most love that I can, I hope this can get to somebody out there. And shoot me a DM, shoot me a comment, and yeah, let's talk.